In this video, we're going to take a look at the Kidblog settings. I've already gone ahead and logged into my account, and I'm on my dashboard. To access the settings, you'll click the Settings tab. On the General Settings, you will see your class title. You'll see your class URL, so if you've forgotten what that is, you can come here to access it. You see an option for a sign-up code. Now, you have two options for registering students to use Kidblog. You can sign them up and add them to your class, or you can generate a sign-up code, project that on the screen, and allow students to use that sign-up code to enter your class. This would mean that the students would be entering in their username and that kind of information, so depending on what age group of students, you may or may not want to use that option. Next, you see your theme. You can change the theme of your blog here. You'll see the time zone. You'll want to make sure that's correct, set to the correct time zone. You can enable a secure sign-in during login. You also have the option to enable mobile publishing if you're using an iPad or an iPod, iPhone, or Android device. And you have the option of displaying your dates. If you make any changes here, go ahead and click Save Changes. The next tab under Settings is the Themes tab. You can manage the themes from right here on this tab. You can select one of the available themes. To do so, you would click Activate, and that will change the theme of your blog. You can also preview what the theme will look like by clicking the preview link, and you'll be able to see what that will look like before you actually activate it. If you like that, you can go ahead and click Save and Activate. The next tab on Settings is Widgets. Now, widgets are things that you can add to your class blog. You can customize the sidebar of your main class blog feed. You can reorder the widgets by dragging and dropping them to a different position. And you can even use a custom widget to embed your own content. So, for example, you could use an About Us widget. Stats shows the visitor stats widget, and this is kind of nice because it shows you where your visitors are coming from. So you could actually turn your blog into a social studies project. You can use tags to separate your content on your blog or make it easily searchable. You can use categories, so if you plan to use your blog for math and social studies and language arts, you could have separate categories for your blog posts. The blog role, these are blogs that you suggest people follow. You can choose to show that or turn it off, and this is where you would go to add the links to those other blogs. The blog directory allows you to see all of the users that you have in your class. Anything that's checked will show up in your blog directory. And then here's where you can do a custom widget, so you might want to do an About Us and type in some information about your class. If you make any changes here, be sure to click Save Changes. The next setting is Posts. Now, the first option is who can read your posts. I have all visitors, no password is required, so that anybody can come in and read my posts. You can also, if you want to make it a little bit more secure, you can limit it to just users in your class. You can also limit it to the admin and teacher accounts in your Kidblog account. I like all visitors because that means anybody could come in and look at the kids' posts and make a comment and be able to read what the kids are writing about. Post approval is the next thing. If you check this box, then that means you have to approve all posts before they will appear on the blog. If you are going to be conscientious of getting in there and reading the blog posts, you can check that. Or if you think that you might have an issue with students posting inappropriate things once you first get started, you might want to check that. But remember, in order for the post to appear, you will have to moderate it before it will show up live on the blog. So you have to keep on top of that if you're going to select that option. You can be sent an email anytime that there is a post waiting for comment. Here's where you will manage your tags if you're going to tag your posts. The class activity page on the front page, how do you want those to show up? Do you want it to be a full text? Do you want it to be list view? And how do you want to sort it? Media uploads, you can allow students to insert media items from your teacher upload library if you want to limit them to things that they can upload. And you can enable web services. So if you want them to be able to access things out of their Google Drive or their Evernote account, you might want to check that. If you make any changes, be sure to click Save Changes. The next option is your comments. Okay, these are comments that people leave on your blog posts. Who can leave comments on the blog posts? Again, you have the option of all visitors, which means that they do not have to have a Kidblog account to be able to leave a comment. You can make it a little bit more secure in allowing just your students to comment on the blog, or you can choose to allow users with a guest to leave a comment. Again, that makes it a little bit more public, and you also have the option of only having admins and teachers being able to post. I'm going to leave this set at all visitors because I think that'll be interesting for my kids to see who is that other people are actually reading their blog posts. Comment approval. Again, this is the same thing as post approval. If you want to be in charge of approving comments before they appear, then you want to have this box checked. If you leave it unchecked, then all comments will go live as soon as the student or the guest or the visitor submits them. So if you're going to stay on top of approving the comments, go ahead and check this. Or if you think you might have some students who comment on inappropriate things, you might want to check that until you can have that conversation with about posting appropriate things. So that's your choice. Checked means you have to approve the comment before it will go live. Unchecked means that they will go live immediately. You can also be sent an email anytime that there is a comment waiting for approval. So if you check this box, you might also want to check this box. And then your other comment settings. You can have a threaded comment, which would be nested comments, and decide how many levels you want those to show. And then you can enable rich text comments, which would include things like being able to leave a link, adding images, or HTML tags. If you make any changes here, be sure you click Save Changes. The last option under comment settings is for users, and this will allow you to control your user accounts. All roles showing avatars, which means on your users you would see their avatar or the picture that they have associated with their account. Only teachers are allowed to create and edit other teachers. If you're just using this account for your class, you won't have to worry about that. Moderators are allowed to approve. Anybody that you assign the moderator role will be able to edit and approve the posts and edit and approve comments. And the lastly is the student role. If you check this option, allow users to edit their profile, means that the students would be able to change their password, their display name, and their avatar. But the other option that this box, student role gives, if you're checking this box, is the ability to change their avatar picture and what their blog looks like. And that's kind of fun for the students to be able to personalize their own blog. So I would suggest you go ahead and leave that checked. Remember that you can always access their display names and change their passwords yourself. If you've made any changes here, be sure you click Save Changes. That is a little overview of the settings.